in the country. He is Reverend Dr. Kwabena Opuni Frimpong. He is the lead convener, the executive director for the Alliance for Christian Advocacy Africa, and also a former General Secretary of the Ghana Christian Council. Hello, good evening, sir. Welcome to Eyewitness News. The discussions, have been growing these days, and we've seen the commentary on political platforms. Others saying that they won't sign the peace pact, some saying they will not sacrifice power for peace, and all of that. I mean, given where you stand, how do these comments come to you?
Shalom. Let me say good evening to you and your cherished listeners. And let me just for the purpose of our conversation, say that we need Democrats to practice democracy. We can't sustain our democracy without our Democrats. What it means is when we ask people to sign the peace pact, we are just building our democratic culture. It doesn't suggest that the peace pact make Ghanaians and Ghanaian institutions angels and faultless. That's not the essence of the peace pact. I've been part of it. The KNUST, Great Wall Wonder, Santehinen, and all the others. I was in the room. The peace pact is affirmation that we are going for a contest. By all means, somebody will win, somebody may lose, but all the parties must commit to peace, meaning that whether you win or you lose, you accept the results. And two, you will use legal and acceptable means if you are not satisfied with the process. But you will not mobilize people, you won't go on the street, you won't bear lorry ties, you won't mobilize arms, guns, and anything. That's the essence. It doesn't mean we are going to have a faultless, perfect election. So I would still want to go by what former President Mahama has said, that as a family, as a political party, NDC had not made a decision that whether they will sign or they will not sign. They have not made that decision. And I pray that the members in the NDC must go by that, and we should end the conversation there. We plead with the chairman of the NDC, Big Father Siedun Ketia, that we need Democrats to practice democracy. We as a country, we are saying as part of our democratic culture, we commit to acceptance of election results, and we commit to using legal and acceptable processes in making correction. We will not mobilize people to the street. That's the essence of the peace pact, and we must all commit to it. 2024 general election. Hello.
Very well, but yes, we heard from our President Mahama and all of that, but Asiedun Ketia sought to support his view of signing or not the peace pact with the fact that when about 8 people were killed in the last election, we've not seen any action. I mean, appearing to be disappointed in moral society. I mean, the Peace Council, the Christian Council, faith-based organization, even CSOs. Nobody said anything, and nobody is being called to account for the lives of 8 people. So I think his question really was, what's the point really in signing the peace pact when nobody is held accountable? People do things anyhow. How do we fashion out a democracy where there is no accountability?
I will. At any point in time, I agree with Mr. Siedun Ketia on the 8 people who died during the 2020 general election, and 3.5 years, close to 4 years, as a country, we have not prosecuted any person, no compensation. It is a very unfortunate thing that we are witnessing as a country. We trust Ghana Police Service that if they want to find those people, they are more than able to do that. It's a shameful part of our electoral system. In fact, it's not just even 2020. Salom, you may ask some of your people assisting in the studio just to Google electoral deaths in Ghana, just at random, electoral deaths in Ghana. And almost the 8 elections we have heard under the Fourth Republic, each one of them records a death, electoral death. As for the violence, people losing their eyes, hands, bloodshed. And it's a shameful, sometimes you ask yourself, why are our leaders not worried about these electoral violence and electoral death. Our hands are so bloody. And we must be worried as a country. It's not only the 2020, almost every the 8th election, there's a record of death. But again, the recent one is the 8th that we recorded in 2020. For me, going to 2024 election, if the government and the Ghana Police Service can give Ghanaians evidence that at least if even we have not come to completion, the process is when we know those people we are prosecuting, they will add to the peace process. But Salom, I will say again that the peace pact doesn't suggest that we will not have pockets of violence and some of the things you have just raised, especially coming from Mr. Siedun Ketia. But no matter what, we will use the legal processes. We will accept the results. However, I will also identify myself with the fact that we must find those people who killed the 8 people and prosecute them, and if need be, even find compensation for those they have left behind.
Well, what will you say to institutions of state which have specific roles in this era, the Electoral Commission, the Peace Council, etc.? What will be your word to them?
You see, I am a member of the IPAC on observer status. And so I've been attending all the IPAC Inter-Party Advisory Committee meetings where all the political parties we meet. And I will still want the Electoral Commission to deepen its transparency effort. But, Salom, it is, I mean, 1 or 2 people, EC people can misbehave. Recently, we saw something from NDC and other places. But on the whole, it's difficult for the Electoral Commission as a body to steal results for anybody. It's not as simple as that. Unfortunately, when they also appoint non-party members to the Electoral Commission, they end up fueling some of this agitation. Those people may not do that, but the mere fact that we have non-party officials becoming EC commissioners, sometimes there are people, even if they have not done anything, the mere fact that they are eating with the devil, it's difficult for them to claim their innocence. So I would say, especially the Ghana Police Service, and then the party officials, I think that's where the problem is coming. And here's both the NDC and the MPP. They are, recent statement that they are making. We will not hand over to anybody. Then you hear the other person, we have the men. We are bringing our men. And they are fueling this. And if anything at all, why EC must be more transparent. Ghana Police Service must not have favorite sons and daughters in any political party. The 2 leading political parties must accept that they are fueling the tension in the system with their public utterances. And if they have pastors, imam, traditional leaders among them, statement among them, they must speak truth to power. That you can't go to public rally and say that we will not hand power to anybody. Or, on the other hand, also we have the men, we are mobilizing the men, and we will show them this, and we will prove to them that we've had enough over the years. Let peace prevail, and let's be mindful of our public utterances.
So who can call these errant politicians to order? Do we have any group or any person or institution in the country that can call these errant politicians to order?
Yes, we quickly go for the Peace Council because it's a state institution to guarantee, what you have just called for. You have the Council of State that's supposed to be non-partisan, a father figure. You have bodies you mentioned earlier on, Christian Council, Ghana Catholic Bishop Conference, even imams, because we have presented ourselves as institutions of calm, all the bodies I've just mentioned. But above all, the parties themselves, they have mature men and women in those parties who must, behind the scenes, closed-door meetings, heal the wounds among themselves, who must talk to their own people. We must have people in MPP who will just talk to people that this is not the MPP we want. Stop. We need people in NDC who behind the scene, even if they must come public and condemn their own. It's very worrying that when there are people come out, you can't get a single person in MPP going public that, yes, you are part of us, but this, your comment is unacceptable. You don't get somebody from NDC. Yes, recently, for instance, President Mahama said that he wouldn't supervise, even a thread of a hair from, somebody losing a head and blood. But when your people are talking like that, you don't rebuke them. We don't hear you in public. It's not only President Mahama. Then Akufo do the same. When your people are saying we are not going to hand power to today, tomorrow to anybody, somebody say we are Democrats. Rebuke your own for the sake of our national cohesion. Let's hear MPP people rebuking their own, NDC rebuking their own. But above all, the state institutions that are supposed to be institutions of calm must be up and doing it, especially as we get closer to December. Salam.
Thank you very much, Dr. Opuni Frimpong, former General Secretary of the Christian Council of Ghana, for speaking to us on this particular matter. Eyewitness News on 97.3.